Good morning, everybody. This is Christina Howe. I am here to accompany you on your yoga journey for this morning's yoga for back care. We'll get started in a few minutes. And again, we have one more, but it's 10:31, so I will get started. And if I have to come and touch the screen, I apologize. So if you see like my hands and my face coming towards it, it is set up for me to have to admit everybody. So I'm just gonna do that. Why don't we come to a comfortable seat? And with everything, doesn't matter whether we're working on back, hips, legs, well-being, always coming back to our breath and starting there. As in a world that is constantly changing, knowing that our breath is the one thing that we're able to control. And as you begin to arrive in your practice, noticing the breath and the quality as it moves both in and out. And checking in with yourself. Maybe observing whether the breath is smooth and deep, shallow, rapid. Whatever the quality, just become aware of that breath. Begin to notice and welcome that inhale, receiving it in all parts of the physical being. And as you begin your exhale, bringing up and getting rid of what no longer serves, making room for the next round of breath. And perhaps if you haven't already, soften the gaze, or perhaps close the eyes. And finding your stillness, your place of respite, your place of rest and safety. Allow the journey within and scanning, perhaps noticing just where you're making contact with the earth and the surface beneath you. Maybe perhaps noticing what parts of your physical body touch and connect. And as you picture those places, begin to send roots down towards the earth. Broadening and deepening, allowing you to secure and be one And as you feel the next breath ebb and flow, checking in with your physical self. And maybe today, if you notice any sensations, and just sit back and watch as if you were looking out at some body of water. And maybe that gentle breeze causing a little ripple on the surface. As you take your next inhale and exhale, continue to breathe, continue to arrive. And as you come to your heart center, maybe pausing for a moment and drawing an intention for today's practice. Maybe it's stillness, maybe it's peace, strength, flexibility, whatever it is that you wish for yourself right here, right now. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Breathe that intention in and exhale as if it's already so. Return to the natural rhythm of your breath. And gently begin to lift the corners of your lips into a smile. Gently flutter the eyes open and ready yourself for your practice today. And just rest for a moment. Welcome, Yvonne. I know you're joining us a little bit late, so just starting with a little bit of centering and breathing before we prepare for our practice today. If you are able to sit on the floor, come into a comfortable seat. If you prefer to sit in a chair, that's wonderful too. This is your practice, so trust your body, trust its wisdom to know what's best for you. Always listen, come to your edge. This is not as Simon says, so listen to it. And if something doesn't feel right, respect that, modify, pause, do something different. You have permission. This is your practice. So we all have different things going on in our bodies. And again, just quickly, my background, 2015, I had a partial laminectomy to remove a synovial cyst in my L5. After 6 months of excruciating pain and immobility in my right leg. So as a runner, that was pretty devastating to me. So I know how much it means to take care of our backs. We're sitting all day as a society. We're certainly doing that a lot right now with the pandemic, and just a reminder to get up and take that opportunity for self-care. I am also going to add to that, remember, much of today's practice is going to be about back care, not necessarily dealing with acute pain. So if you are in acute pain right now, just again, rest, take it easy, listen. The number one rule of yoga is do no harm, and it means do no harm to yourself first. So listen to that. Okay, let's come back onto our backs. We're going to do a little bit of stretching. Also, if you are in any type of, as I said, experiencing any type of pain, sometimes coming down to our backs can be a little bit challenging. And what I'd like you to have with you is have some pillows, blanket, towel, sometimes a big beach towel is helpful. As many pillows as you'd like. I'll show you a couple of things that you can do with the pillows. If you are a yoga practitioner, regular yoga practitioner, then having blocks and straps, always beneficial. But have also something rolled up so that you can, I'm using an extra mat here, again, a beach towel or a big bath towel, maybe even a bolster if you have that. Can be great to place under the knees. And then also, I have a little folding chair, but a wall is wonderful, or if you are near your sofa or a bed, something to be able to raise your legs up on. While it sounds like a lot, there are tons of things that you can do at home. You don't need a fancy yoga studio to be able to practice these poses. But again, we're going to work on and concentrate on our spinal extension and flexions. And a lot of these will help us to have the ground meet us and relax into them. And again, are great when you are feeling that little bit of discomfort and you need to go into something. I'll call those poses out. So come onto your backs, and again, bend your knees. Take time to find that connection with the earth. Have your feet planted on the floor. Allow the shoulders to relax on the ground. Maybe walk your feet out just a tad so they're either mat width apart or just wider than your hips, and then knock the knees in towards one another. This is called constructive rest, and it's a great one when you really have that lower lumbar pain. We have 3 general areas to our back: our lower lumbar, and then our thoracic. There's basically 12 or so vertebrae there, and then our cervical spine, which starts just above our shoulders and going up there. So that is also an often misused area and painful area. So again, be cautious with your back and your neck. And take a moment to just find your breath here. And as you journey inward, just scanning and noticing those places where you've made contact with the earth. And then scanning again and noticing those areas where you have little space and the back side of your body does not quite touch the earth. Usually it's at that lower curvature, right above the buttocks. But maybe it's also in other areas. And see if you can draw breath inward, sending that breath to that area as you exhale. And perhaps closing in on the distance, allowing more of your body surface to be connected with the ground. Allowing yourself to be cradled by the earth, knowing it's not going to go anywhere. You're here, you're supported. And placing your hands on your belly just for a moment to again check in with the breath and notice where you're breathing. Maybe beginning with that deep part breath, feeling the belly rise and fall. And on your next inhale, bringing the feet up and your legs into a 90 degrees, drawing in that lower belly, or I call zippering it up, as if you're getting into your little skinny jeans, activating that core, pressing through the heels. And once again, just staying here through 3 rounds of breath as you get acclimated and activate all the core muscles, get them all engaged. And exhale, bring the knees towards the chest, either comfortably bringing the hands around the knees, or if there's too much compression on the knees, bringing the hands gently behind your thighs and hugging the legs in, finding spaciousness at the belly as you draw the navel to spine. Maybe taking a little side to side rock, gently beginning to massage that lower spine. And on your next exhale, extending the left leg. Inhale, wrap your arms around that left leg, and exhale, extend that right leg long, bringing it gently to the earth. As you inhale, begin to draw that left leg towards the face, and then exhale away. We're going to pulse slowly, just gently bringing that in and out. Keep that activation in the heel. Press that heel as if it's walking on the ceiling. Notice your breath. And then draw attention to your shoulders, your upper body. And see if you can direct breath and allow the feeling of your shoulder blades to make contact with the earth. Keeping most of this activity from the pelvic floor down. So using your abdominal, feeling that little hamstring stretch. And you'll probably notice that maybe knee is slightly bent, and that's okay. It means the hamstrings are a little bit tight, and maybe even the hip flexors. We're just warming that up. Let's do this 2 more times. And on that next one, inhale, pressing that foot up and away. Exhale, bend it towards the left shoulder. Inhale up towards the sky. And then once again, as you exhale, making room for the thigh and the belly to meet, but drawing that knee a little bit closer to that left shoulder rather than towards the middle of the rib cage. And again, just slowly with your breath, opening up that hip. When we open up our hips, we allow the back to release. We're all interconnected. As I said, it's sort of like the Zakum Bridge. All those little suspension wires connecting to our spine. And one more time, extend nice and long, activate, push through that heel. And then slowly zipping up that lower core, begin to slowly, on a count of 6, down to 1, bring it all the way down to the ground, to rest alongside the right leg. And once it reaches there, maybe just take a notice if it feels maybe longer than your right side. Let's bring and inhale both knees back up to chest, giving a hug one more time. And we're going to switch over to our right side and extend that leg up towards the ceiling or the sky. Release on the exhale, that left leg long. Bring your palms underneath your up-facing leg. Relax the shoulders. And just like we did on the left side, we're going to begin by inhaling, drawing that leg a little inward, and then exhale away. And as you move through this, you might feel other parts of the body want to assist. Can you resist that urge and just allow that lower torso, the hamstrings, keep those toes pointed towards your face. You may feel here a little lift in that tailbone. And let's do this 2 more times. One last time, keep that activation in the foot, pressing away from your face, up towards the sky. And then on the exhale, bring it towards the right shoulder. Inhale up, exhale down. And let's go through this 5 or 6 more times. Warming up. And 2 more. And 1 more. Reach up. Again, activate that lower core, pull that navel towards the back of your spine, plug it in, make that connection. Gently release the back of your hamstring, and then counting down from 6 to 1, slowly extend and lower that leg down to the surface. Meeting that left leg. Once it reaches the ground, take a moment, just wiggle out, maybe rotate the ankles, work out any of the little snap, crackle, pops that you often get. Point and flex. And let's take our arms on the inhale, bring them up, pointing towards the sky. And then exhale, bring them back down behind us with the biceps close to your ears. And maybe take a side-to-side stretch, reaching through the left, reaching through the right. Just finding some spaciousness in that spine, creating length between the tailbone and the crown of your head. And picture your spine as a nice long string of pearls. And you're drawing that thread, that little clasp at the top of your head, and drawing from the opposite end that comes down through the pubic bone all the way down towards your toes. And you're making space so the pearls don't scratch each other, The precious little nacre, that lovely luster. And inhale, bring the arms back up and exhale down. Let's do that 3 more times. Inhale up, exhale back. Inhale up and exhale. 1 more time, reaching those fingers up towards the sky, and then exhale all the way back. Let's bring the arms out into a T-shaped position as we bring our knees and bend them, dropping our feet and perhaps our heels as close as we can to our buttocks. If you can, scooch them out. If they need to be here, that's okay. We want the feet to make that connection with the earth, to be strong and firm, rooting down. Walk the feet together so that the ankles perhaps touch, the knees are touching. And let's take a little gentle twist here. So inhale, making the spine nice and long, drawing that belly towards the spine, maybe tucking it under the rib cage just a bit. And let's exhale as we drop the knees towards the left and perhaps bring that gaze gently over the right. Now, if you find this a little uncomfortable to do, this is where the pillows and the blocks come in. Feel free to prop the knees up on that side wherever they go. Allow the shoulders to rest. So if you feel the shoulders rolling upward or the upper back rolling with the knees, come back, draw back down towards the earth, keeping that upper body connected. And just allow the knees to go where they may and rest on some surface, the block, stack of pillows, allowing that outer hip, that psoas, those hip flexors, to again find that place of edge and ease, effort and ease. Stay here for a few rounds of breath. And when you feel ready, on your next in-breath, gently bring your knees back towards center, resting, pausing for a moment, feeling your entire body, entire back body, making that connection, that reconnection with the earth beneath it. And on your next exhale, dropping over to the opposite side, once again, having whatever support you need underneath those knees. Breathing into that upper back body, allowing the shoulders to connect with the earth. Bringing into the present moment your breath, allowing it to breathe into any areas of tension. And when you're ready, gently on the inhale, bringing the knees back into an upward position, and exhale, draw those knees to chest, and maybe place the hands gently on top of the kneecaps or underneath the underside of the knees, and let's move them out and in, maybe drawing small circles. The feet touch. Once again, drawing attention to that lower abdomen, finding strength in your core, keeping the back of the pelvic bone connected to the earth. And maybe reversing those circles. And coming to stillness, bringing the feet back down to the floor, resting for a moment. And now that we've warmed up our legs and a little bit of our backs, part of taking care of our backs is making sure, again, that our core is strong. And actually, our core literally starts from our quads all the way up to that midline, and keeping those engaged. We often forget also about our glutes. So our glutes are necessary when we walk, when we contract. It pulls everything up so that we can, again, walk forward, walk backward, run, whatever we need to do when we come into sitting positions. And when we sit too long, they often just go soft. Nice, gentle way of placing that. So we're going to concentrate a little bit on that, a little bit on the belly. And again, all of these muscles help to protect our spine. Our spine is just our skeletal system. The muscles are what basically make it move. All the tendons and the muscles help to keep it safe and strong. So let's focus on that. So keeping the knees bent, bringing again those feet as close to your buttocks as possible. We're going to move into a little bit of a bridge slowly. That's where we're going. So I'll give you a little advance notice. But we're going to begin by drawing some attention to our tailbone and that little pelvic bowl. So you may see my hands here, like if I'm cupping something. We're essentially going to bring that tailbone and begin to curl that up. And as you do that, as you bring attention to that, you'll feel that spine begin to sort of follow. Your buttocks begin to lift gently off the floor. Maybe perhaps that little sitting bone begins to lift. There's a little bit of spaciousness. And depending on whether, again, your back is in an acute stage, chronic pain, or not at all, you can decide where it is that you want to lift into that. Okay, so let's just begin with a few little tailbone curls, leaving your arms down by your side, hands resting gently, palms perhaps pressing into the ground. Drawing that belly towards the spine, take a deep inhale and begin to lift. Curl that tailbone under. And exhale, bring it back down. Let's go through that about 5 or 6 more times, just gently inhaling, feeling again what needs to activate as you do this, and then releasing it slowly back down. As you press into your feet, inhale, lift, squeeze the buttocks, and then exhale, release back down. One more time. And exhale, release. All right, now we're going to come into a full bridge. And again, if this is something that is not what you're ready for today, or you can use a block, or again, some kind of stack of books or something that's stable, and move yourself into a supported bridge. And so you do that, begin to, again, find that contact with the earth. As you inhale, curl that tailbone up, start to draw the shoulder blades underneath you. Begin to lift, squeezing into the buttocks. And as I said, if it's more accessible for you to be supported by a block, the block can be underneath you, and that's where you need to be. Keep your chin neutral, maybe just slightly tucked in. Draw the shoulder blades, tuck them in and under, lifting yourself up, pressing into those feet, squeezing those glutes, and finding a nice long line. Imagine there's a nice linear line and connection from your knees, the tailbone, all the way up to the cervical spine. Maybe you feel the back of your skull just gently resting on the ground. And when you're ready to release, begin the exhale and slowly release from the shoulders, unfurling them, maybe releasing the block if you had one, and bringing the vertebrae gently back down to the earth. We're going to do that 2 more times. Why? Because the core is so, so important to our overall back health. So again, your choice. When you're ready, inhale, begin to curl everything up, squeezing those buttocks, pressing into the earth, lifting up. Maybe you feel the upper chest, the heart lifting. Remember to breathe. And once again, as you are ready to exhale, slowly releasing from the shoulders, the back body, bringing those precious pearls down one at a time. And last time, inhale. Maybe this is your best bridge ever. Bridge is a symbol of a connection, uniting our mind, our breath, our body. And bridging that gap, creating that crossover. And then exhale slowly back down. Once again, let's gently bring those knees, hug them to the chest. Maybe find that little space around your heart that feels like gratitude, honoring your body and thanking it for everything that it does for you. And then gently, let's roll onto one side into a nice little fetal position. Taking another moment. And then slowly coming up. And since you've probably rolled off your mat, we're going to come onto our bellies before coming up into our hands and knees. And then we'll do a couple of standing poses. So this is a great one for all those wonderful pillows, particularly if you have acute pain. Wonderful to do on a bed. If you can't come down to the floor, a long sofa if you have one, but the pillows are there again to assist and support you if you are experiencing any pain at all. That come down to your bellies. And place your hands into what we call Crocodile Pose, which is essentially bringing your hands, stacking them in front of you, finding a little space so that you can rest your forehead and cradle the nose between that space. If you're anything like me and you've got a long nose, I always find that either coming to the side or again, just lifting up, maybe stacking the palms, but find your comfort here, resting the belly, resting the thighs, tops of the feet. once again, finding that connection with the ground, finding that support. And we're going to move into what we call Cobra. And this is why I have the pillows here, because if this feels uncomfortable, so I'm going to demo it one way and then an alternative way. So moving your hands to slightly below your rib cage so that your elbows are bent and they're just by your side. Good places like where your breasts are here, the hands right about that level. Keeping your gaze down at the floor. Bring the tops of your feet to rest on the ground. Again, find that connection between the feet, the legs, root them down, feel grounded. On your next in-breath, begin to press into the hands, squeezing the elbows towards the chest, bringing yourself up into Cobra. Now, if it is uncomfortable to come up to a full Cobra, having all those wonderful pillows. Again, this is a great little back bend for when we're feeling acute. Just tucking them all under, however you need to be, and using that to support your upper torso. Allowing that slight little curvature in that lower back. Keeping the neck nice and steady, the gaze forward, the chin parallel with the floor. Breathing in and breathing out. Stay here for several rounds of breath. Feeling a little breath move into that back body. Recognizing again that that earth is there supporting us. And then exhale, releasing everything down. Let's inhale, press into those palms. Come back up. Send some breath and release those hips into the earth. Use your breath. Exhale back down, and we're going to do this one more time. Inhale, press up, and Cobra. Don't hold the breath. And then exhale, release. If you've had the pillows, move those. Find again your resting pose of choice for your head, either cradled on your hands or cheek side to side. Take a few rounds of breath. Notice any sensations. Let's bring the arms down by our sides, this time palms facing upward. Maybe cheek to one side. Relax into the upper body. Allow the shoulders to be broad and expansive. Allow the crown of your head and the tailbone, the distance between them, to be long, lean. As you inhale, begin to lift up the legs and the arms as if you're flying above the earth. allowing just the torso, the pelvic bone to be pressing into the earth as you lift yourself up. Feel free to play here in airplane arms if you'd like. Maybe walking or pretending like you're moving your legs. Keep breathing. If you like to play with a little bit more of the balance, and feel free to bring the arms straight out, lifting them up. Continue to press that pelvic bone into the floor, lifting, lifting, and then exhale, release everything down, resting on the opposite cheek. Bring those arms back by your side, palms continue to face up. We're going to do that one more time. Inhale, begin to lift up the limbs, leaving just the middle part, your torso on the floor. Play with the arm position. See how that feels. How does that change things? And then exhale back down. Take a deep sigh. Let everything go. Let's bring the arms forward, nice and stretched, way in front of you. Slowly bring them down towards your face. Spread the fingers nice and wide. Begin to curl the toes under as you begin to press into the earth and lift the tailbone and the hips up. And press back towards your heels, finding your child pose. Find that nice long line between the crown of your head, down your spine, down to the tailbone. Find room for your belly to rest on your thighs. The arms nice and long out in front of you. As you grip your fingers into the floor, as if you're pulling yourself up, begin to bring body up into your tabletop. Walk your knees up so that you find them hip distance apart and underneath your hips, and your hands underneath your shoulders. Just take a moment to look for some proper alignment here. Finding that equilibrium. So you want to keep your backside of your body nice and flat and long. Feel the crown of your head drawing out towards one side of the room, the tailbone going towards the other. Your legs and your arms have equal share of the weight of your body. On your next inhale, lift the right leg, and exhale, extend it back, coming onto the tip of your toes. And just roll or rock back and forth on those toes, stretching them out for a minute. On your next inhale, raise that leg, pressing the heel towards the sky, toes still pointing down. Making sure you have nice balance between the right palm and the left knee. If this feels steady, then introduce extension of your left arm. Feel that energy drawn from the tip of the fingers all the way to the extended heel of the lifted leg. As you release, bring the left hand back and then cross over that extended leg to that left side and look over your left shoulder. Maybe you can see the toes. On the inhale, bring it back. One more time. Lift, exhale, cross over. Inhale, bring it back. Exhale down. Bend into the knees. Press back towards the heels, coming into your child's pose once again. Arms extended, reaching out, maybe even onto the fingertips so you have a nice long back. Once again, grip through those fingers. Draw yourself upward, back into tabletop. Let's do the opposite side. So finding again, squaring off your palms and your knees. Inhale, lift that left leg up, extend it back. Curl the toes under, give that foot a nice little stretch. On your next inhale, bring that leg up, keeping the pelvic floor even. So one hip shouldn't be higher than the other. We want to keep that the same level as the opposite side. Point those toes down towards the earth. Press actively through that heel. And again, if you feel steady, introduce the extension of the right arm. Keep breathing here. Draw that belly up. It's supporting your spine, so make it work. Exhale, bring that right hand back down and cross over that back leg, bringing your gaze over your right shoulder. Inhale, bring it back up. And then exhale, cross it back. Inhale, back up. Drop the knee down. Once again, push back into your version of child's pose or puppy pose. So if you don't want to push back and you find too much pressure on your hamstrings, walk the hands out, bringing a nice long linear line, dropping your forearms to the floor, and perhaps the chin comes down. Wherever you are, child or puppy, stay there for a couple of rounds of breath. And then when you're ready, come back into tabletop. We're going to slowly come to standing, but not without doing a little bit of a stretch through the legs. So come up onto your knees. Bring the right foot forward. Find a nice 90-degree. And drop that tailbone down towards the earth. Bring the palms to the top of that thigh. Find nice, strong pose here. Feel a little bit of that stretch in that quad of that left leg. Maybe even inching that right foot a little bit forward. Make sure that you don't hyperextend, but you do want to scissor the inside of the thighs. If you'd like, you can certainly bring the arms up into a nice low lunge. Notice any sensations, where you're feeling the stretch. As you exhale, bring that fingertips down, extending that torso towards the ground as you straighten that front leg, draping your torso over. And again, have blocks or a stack of books if you find. Don't round the shoulders to touch the ground. It's not about that. Just give a little stretch. Inhale, find that bend in the knee. Exhale, let's just bring that back with as much grace as you can. Back onto your knees. Let's step the left foot back. Once again, inch it forward. Find that distance where you are able to bend into that knee. Scissor those thighs. Find your grounding. If you'd like, bring the arms into it on this side as well. Keep breathing, lift that heart, lift that gaze. Once again, finding that little space surrounding your heart that looks a little like gratitude. As you exhale, bring the fingers down towards the floor as you straighten out those knees. Again, gently draping your belly over your thigh. Use the blocks. You can curl onto your heel if you'd like a little bit of a deeper stretch. Never lose your breath. Always come back to that. Inhale, come back up. And again, with grace, draw that leg back. Maybe once again, push through your child's pose. Reach out. Come onto your tabletop. We're going to curl the toes under as we begin to lift the hips up towards the sky. Taking the knees, finding your little downward dog if that's okay. And either walk the feet forward or walk the hands back towards the knees, whichever feels good or right. Soften the knees. Curl the feet under. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, hands to heart. So we've come up to our standing. We're not going to be here long. We're going to do a couple of things. So if you have a chair or some surface that is higher than where your feet are right now, this is a great, great simple stretch, simple relief for the back. I'm just going to demo it with the chair. And again, if you have a chair that has a hard surface, always good to put a little blanket or a towel underneath it. And just make sure that you are somewhere where you're steady. You can do this also against the wall laying down, which is the legs up the wall is one of the best back releases ever. So this is to release some of the hamstrings, and we're essentially going to just step up, bring that, well, starting with the right leg here, up on the chair. Heel and the toes pointing up towards the sky, so keep that leg active. And first line of business, draw that tailbone down, crown of your head upward, find length between, find space between each one of those lovely little pearls. Draw this right hip back. Pull the outside of your left thigh and hip in towards the midline. Squeeze the buttocks and then release. Find a nice long line. Breathe in. Keep the heel press active. Say hello to the toes. And maybe take a moment to notice the toes, where they're pointing. What happens if you change them? If I'm pointing left, that I draw it a little bit inward. If I'm pointing inward, I pull it a little outward. And then just bring your gaze out on the horizon. Maybe sending some breath and finding some release in that quad that I'm sure is actively trying to pull and keep you stable. Send breath into that right hamstring. And when we've completed a few rounds of breath and have come to our point of stillness, and we're ready to release, just bend into that knee and bring it back down. Take a moment to shake them out. Take a moment to just see how different that might feel. Maybe it doesn't right now. Maybe you need a little bit more, less. Just notice. And then let's step the left leg up once again. Same thing as we did on the right side. Keeping that leg active, pressing through the heel. Drawing that left hip back. Pulling that right in and up. Notice that when you pull that, all of a sudden you feel a little bit taller. And take a deep exhale and release. Release any clenching, release any tension. And just allow the hamstring to be. Maybe you can even release the knee. And staying here for maybe a few more rounds of breath. On your next exhale, release that leg, bring it back down, shake it out. Let's slowly come back down onto our backs. And if you again have that place where you can bring your feet up, I'm going to say keep that handy. It's a wonderful, relaxing pose. Come onto your backs. Bring your pillows, your blankets, anything that you might need for your final resting pose. This is a great place also to have, another rolled up blanket or towel. If you don't like putting your legs up, you can always keep that right underneath the knees to keep them supported if you feel that there's too much tightness remaining in your legs and you can't relax. Or do whatever last moves that your body is calling for. Maybe you need to roll from side to side or do a little bit of an inversion. Just take time for yourself right now before coming into your final resting pose. And when you're ready for that, I'm just going to suggest this one, and it's coming down. And like I said, bringing your legs up a wall or onto a seat, allowing a little bit of elevation. Pillow can be under your head. And just find yourself melting into this, melting into the support, the release, the letting go. Find your breath softly. As you let go, maybe the eyes again begin to soften. The breathing moving through your body gently. And finding your own appreciation of all the wonderment of you, your physical body, emotional, spiritual, and how amazing you are. And coming into the awareness of your breath, continue to lie restfully, allowing the breath to ebb and flow, and gently awakening the senses. Bringing your body back into this place in the room. And gently introducing maybe motion of some sort, the gentle rocking of your head side to side, or perhaps the wiggling of your fingers or toes. And when you are ready, gently finding your way back into a seated and upright position. And keeping the eyes uh, softly closed, or a soft gaze. And gently resting your hands on your thighs. As a shared community commonly practicing yoga, let's take 3 deep and cleansing breaths together. And first 2 in and out the nose. Breathe in and breathe out. Inhale and exhale. And finally, nice deep cleansing breath. Inhale through the nose, drawing in all of that new energy. And exhale deeply through the mouth with sighing. Gently bowing our chin down and bringing your hands to our heart center in prayer. And may all beings be free from fear and harm. May we all be content with ourselves just the way we are. May we be at peace. May we be healthy. May we find joy. And may we rest gently in the softness of our own hearts. Peace. Namaste. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining today for this lovely practice, for being so kind to yourselves, to your bodies. Enjoyed seeing you. I hope you feel a little bit better. Enjoy the rest of your day. Be safe with the coming snowstorm. May we be spared, but may it be beautiful. Enjoy. Take care, everybody. Have a great day. Bye-bye.